Shalom, Labachayim, Shalom Yashala. Peace be to the election of the nation of Israel, consisting of the 144,000, Hanabayayim, the prophets, Harashim, the heats of the golden body that shall mashal, Bahamalakwath, in the kingdom of heaven, rule, which are said in the Hebrew, which shall be here established on earth. And of course, I want to give a shalom to the rest of the elect, the Bachayim, Shalom Yashala, Lord's first fruits, whom are no prophets, whom will have that mark of exemption, the Tawah, from the coming judgment. And of course, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshai, Bashem, Kakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. World peace and salutation to the elect Char, Brab, Barakim, La Bachayim, Shal Yashala. Much blessings to the election of the nation of Israel. Shalom. Of course, call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Bashem Kakodash. All praise to the Most High. Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Bashem Kakodash, the Most High and His only begotten Son. Alright? In the name of the Holy Spirit. Shem Mafpa, my name is Mafpa. My young God, Walla Rakub, Machana, from the Great Millstone Camp, located here in the city of Philadelphia. Just coming with a wee lesson. It says here, off of healthcare, Rutgers, actually, this is the actual site. It just says healthcare and pharmaceuticals being the actual category. Trump contradicts CDC, which that's the Center of Disease Control Director on vaccines, in which I was just browsing a bit in the hours, and it had CDC director speaking about how face masks may provide more protection than the coronavirus vaccine. So, I mean, you have, of course, the division amongst Esau Edom, which is heavy in these times, and I mean, he is looking obviously as what he really is, which is a bumbling fool and a ball. A scoundrel, a nav, and a untrustworthy source of information, because they contradict themselves within their speech, and they publish all of these different articles, sciences and such, which are false. Okay, I mean, life itself is giving you the reality that the Lord, He wounds and He make alive. You know, He kills. All right, and He kills, He wounds, He make alive. Upon, of course, the Lord belongeth to issues from death. So if anybody were to get sick, they're destined to get sick. It's their lot to get sick. They will get sick. If somebody is, of course, to be able to maintain their health, they shall, only, of course, by the grace of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Just like this particular Jake, Richard works at my job, and I wasn't close to him, but during this whole pandemic, he had it where I was paired up with him. He got shot about, they said, 4 or 5 times, and like, I just had seen the man one day, and he was speaking about how you learn something new every day, which is good. And of course, he, Lord willing, is learning a new lesson that, you know, the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai is nothing to be playing with, and nothing should be taken pretty lightly when it comes to dealing with the servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, because particularly this man, I was giving warning about the things about you would say that's going about in the world, and it seemed as if the guy would literally be on his phone and no paying attention to me and such. So, I mean, I didn't put no curse on him, but you know, the Lord not bringing judgment upon the guy. You know, you want to be ignorant and ignore and such, or even if you do know, you want to seem as if you're high of yourself. The Lord definitely will bring upon that humility to bring you low. Okay. Yeah, so the first scripture I wanted to get, if Yahweh Shem Shai grace me to remember it, it would be how their house divided. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and 25. It reads, it says, and Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto them, every host or every kingdom, which this is the kingdom of Babylon, the kingdom of NATO and the EU, the kingdom of you Edomites ruling the heaven, your heaven. It says against itself. All right, so y'all divide it, y'all part it, y'all separate it. Okay, divide it in your own councils. It says it is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So not at all it will stand. Okay, if you have a house and you have your father, in which he's supposed to be the Ra'ash, the heat, and you have, of course, the mother who's not on one accord, all right, with that man, you have, of course, it's going to be bound to come to desolation. Okay, it's not going to be able to stand. So let's go into this word for stand, and it goes all the way down even to the most littlest. All right, the most insignificant within the household and such. Okay, so it says for stand means it kind of basically to make firm, because it's not rooted properly, and to be set in place or balance, because it's unbalanced. It says also to be in a steadfast mind, continue safe and sound, stand unharmed. So this house being of Esau Edom is not going to stand unharmed at all. Okay, and mainly because his own people are at variance with himself. Okay, you have Esau Edom, Egyptian, as the scriptures say, Egyptian against Egyptian. Okay, which Isaiah chapter 19 real quick. It's Isaiah chapter 19, and I'm gonna start at 1. It says, the burden of Matzarim Egypt, behold the Lord. So this is a burden, all right, of Egypt. This word is a burden onto America, which is spiritually Sodom in Egypt, Babylon the Great. Okay, where our dead bodies lie in the street. Okay, being spiritually dead, but through the breath of life that enter on us, through the grace of the Most High, through His Son Yahweh Shai, we're able to walk about again, being spiritually awakened, being quickened. All right, Chayah. Okay, to the life of in Yahweh Shai. It says in the knowledge, and to walk in the light, and ba chashak, not in the darkness. All right, we're being illuminated by this truth. All right, that's our lamp, our Nagar, Nawa. All right, which that means lamp in Hebrew, hour. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And therefore, through the Lord coming on his way with the Rechabium, the chariots, okay, which you can see various signs of that, them manifesting themselves more closely, in more finer detail, and more frequently, that these vessels that Yahushua is going to return in a huge mountain size Rechab. You're going to see everything get moved by the presence, okay? Because Yahushua is holy, all right, the Holy One, okay? It says the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it, right? And you can definitely see that the mind of this place is being melted. It's literally dissolving as we move closer to Yahweh Shai coming on that swift cloud, right? Right now you have our angelic brothers that are traveling in these vehicles, which are the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of salvation for the elect. all right, doing various missions and such. But sin, they're gonna of course come and they're gonna completely dissolve and melt this place away, all right, being that place America, Babylon the Great, and certain other places which are ordained to be destroyed. Okay. So it says to melt. It says wasted, loosed, fatigued with grief and fear. And this place is being fatigued with grief and fear. Okay, as scriptures say about how due to the terror of the Lord, like this place is gonna be met with many terrors and such. Okay, and the CV-19 coronavirus, and these economic rules has brought grief unto the people as suicides are increasing, which I have to do all these lessons on Salakia for being a sluggard, and these lessons being put up and such and done. I have to, of course, get in a better routine. But this place is on its last leg is through. Okay, and definitely you could tell by the heart that's melting within it with the fear. All right, it says, and I will set Egyptians against Egyptians. This is the spiritually Sodom in Egypt. So, of course, the hierarchy within Egypt, okay, was of the stock, all right, of Ham, okay, of the son of Ham, being Matazarium. Okay, so now this being spiritually Sodom in Egypt, okay, and I'm speaking about ancient Egypt. Slakia, if I misspoke. Ancient Egypt was ruled by Matazarium. Okay. And we're speaking about before the time of the Exodus and such, when we left out in the Exodus time, when we left out of Egypt. Of course, you had your I believe Ptolemy, I believe he ruled in Egypt at a time during the Greek, when the kingdom was divided into his 4 generals. But the original Egyptians are of dark flesh people. Now this modern day Egypt is ruled by what? The pharaohs, okay, are these these elite, alright? It says, and I will set Egyptian against Egyptian. So those that are of are these Egyptian against Egyptian. They shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So when you see this article, which speak about Trump contradicts CDC director on vaccines, he was confused, and says and this is what Babylon is all about. U.S. Donald Trump predicted on Wednesday at least 100 million doses of the coronavirus could be soon. It says could be distributed, but I'm going to say soon, by the end of 2020, which he was speaking about October to surprise. And, of course, you have the Operation Warp Speed. Delivering his speeches about delivering the vaccine for the coronavirus via force by the military. Contradicting a top government health official, Trump dismisses as confused. So, I mean, you have it where one official of health is speaking, and you have this emperor, okay, this Trump, this Caesar, is speaking something totally contrary. He's talking about delivering it, and then you have this, I believe I've been seeing the CDC talking about it's not going to be ready. I got to look up into these different reports. But it says hours later, Robert Redfield, the director of the Federal Center of Disease Control and Prevention, said COVID-19 vaccine could be broadly rolled out by the middle, Qurab, which means midst or middle, of next year, or a little later. That's too long, okay? And first of all, why is Earth and Ashes proud? How is just gonna go and you think that we're just gonna be here forever, as the book of Psalms tell you, from generation to generation. You think that your house is just gonna be untroubled and such. This place is the mum. And I pray there isn't a really a long time as the Lord is shortening the days where you have a week. I'm literally in Thursday, but it felt like I only worked maybe like 1 or 2 days and such. We go to camp on a Saturday, and you already at camp again. So the days of the Lord are shortened. Okay, here on earth. It says no. I think he made a mistake when he said that. Trump said, telling reporters he called Redfield. That's incorrect information. I believe he was confused, and that's what Babylon is all about. And that's exactly what this time is about. It's about mass confusion. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21 and 25, and it reads here. Actually, I can start up a bit above. And it says here that actually I want to start be above. This is Luke chapter 21:21. Then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains. And this is speaking about during the time of 70 AD. What is it, like 66 AD? All right, 70 through 70 AD, when of course we were, Jerusalem was compassed with armies, all right, by the Romans. All right, you go with Vespasian, Titus Vespasian. You go into that history, okay. You can read, of course, in the book of Babylon, Timbuktu, and other various historical references. It says that, and led them which are in Judea, which we are subservient to as a tributary to the Roman Empire. It says, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not that them that are in the countries enter thereunto. Okay, so we're told, of course, to flee into the mountains, to flee into the western interiors of Africa, to mainly, but of course, as it tell you, we fleed into all over the place, all different directions when you get into history. It says, remember, we're scattered, diaspora. It says, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled, right? It says, but woe unto them that are with child, and them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, all right, being the Israelites. Okay, and that spirit of this place being compassed, okay, Israelites wherever they dwell is out there, okay, being of course the siege, or being sitting of armies just waiting to pounce on you is here already. Troops already being mobile. During this whole pandemic, they moved a lot of different military vehicles, moved a lot of military equipment about, set up various secret forces, okay, ready in place just for that green light, okay. Our salvation is nearer than what we believe, so got to be ready, okay. It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and they shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down to the down of the Gentiles and nations, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. We're in a time of the Gentiles being fulfilled. We're in a time in which the kingdom of heaven is about to be established. Yahweh Shai is on his way, as moving on that swift cloud, all right, being that chariot. Okay, Yahweh Shai is on his way, defo by the signs. It says, and this is the point, this is Luke chapter 21 and 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the Shamash, in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars. Okay, so you have, of course, various eclipses. You had, of course, lunar and solar eclipses. Different comets, various things in the, in the firmament, in the heavens, in Bashamayim in the heavens. And of course, reading on, and about the moon, you had that big chariot that was above the moon around, what was that, the Yom Kippur, I believe that was, if I'm not mistaken. It was the other day, it was pretty recent. And so that was another sign. It was something that wasn't in common. Okay. So, and it says, and upon the earth distress of nations. And of course, you have the nations in major straits and distress economically, socially, and spiritually. This place is through. Okay, you can see the idols, the left hand side is falling. Though, of course, they're using their best to bring out different incantations, different spells and witchcrafts to try to do whatever they can to hold their position, but they're falling. The curses are falling upon them. All right, so you have here for that word for distress, a holding together, a narrowing. It says straits, distress, and anguish. That's it right there. Anxiety. So there's anxiety amongst the nations. Okay, you have food crisis. All right, food shortages. And of course, mass unemployment, mass evictions. These are the various things that bring distress upon a nation. Okay, stimulus needed. Of course, lockdown measures that are ordered to be put in place, or you may get loans for them. Okay, this is the type of things that are happening that put distress on nations. Okay, it says here, with perplexity. Okay, going into this word for with perplexity, which this word for perplexity is this Greek word, which is operia, which it means the state of one who is perplexed, and somebody who is perplexed is confused. Let's go into the term. It says bewilderment and doubt and uncertainty, and there is mass uncertainty. You have it where most people don't even know where their next dollar is going to come from, or their quid, or whatever form of currency they have. Actually, their people are in doubt if they're going to be even able to use their cash that they have. They don't even know if they can even go in the bank and make a withdrawal. In most cases, you're going to be faced with a line of people, which is going to discourage you from even going there. All right, and that's pissing and heating all of the people all out their mind, bugging them out, because their new normal is before them, which is even going to become even more of a new weird normal. Okay, where straits is just all what it's all about in this place. Okay, the tightening, the draconian laws are here. Okay, and just only becoming as you take a noose, or you take, even if you think of jiu-jitsu terms, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Gracie jiu-jitsu, you take a choke, and of course you apply it the proper way, and as that, that one hand goes in, the other hand shoots in, and the wrist turns, and they hit that carotid artery, it just continue to tighten until one passes out. Okay, it says here confusion, perplexity. All right, it says something that causes perplexity and intricate or involves a state or confusion. Okay, so this is what this is all about, confusion. Let's go back to the article. It says, no, he made a mistake when he said that. Trump said, telling reporters, he called Redfield, that's incorrect. I believe he was confused. Right. Now, scriptures speak about, there's other scriptures that talk about confusion and such in the book of Ezra. So we know this is definitely the time of the end. Let me see if I can get some. This, I believe, in like Ezra, either the 8th, or let's see where it's going to be at. All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and 8. And there shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off sent out again, and wild beasts. And you have, like you said, you're in the midst of all these different wildfires. You have in the UK, there's also farm fires, which I gotta do a lesson on. And the wild beasts shall change their places. You have, of course, the beasts You see beasts in different places and cities and such during this whole isolation phase of this whole pandemic. Okay. And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and obviously these women are bringing forth these beastly, monstrous children, which are disobedient, that need judgment and death. Okay, and that's just plain, because they're what? Wicked. Okay, and salt water shall be found sweet, and all the friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding withdraw itself into into his secret chamber. And the Lord is going to remove the elect prophets off of the streets that are giving you the understanding of the times. And that's when you're going to be really wishing and seeking you knew. Okay? You knew of what to do in these times, when you have to be swift in your judgment. Okay? The Lord has called upon his elect to be judges and to be leaders to the nation of Israel, to set the example, to, of course, give a perfect, to the best of our ability, way of Yahweh Shai. We of course, magnifying, the office of a prophet, of course, and priest to the nation of Israel to follow. Okay, it says, he said, in the general availability of vaccine come by late second quarter, third quarter 2020. A vaccine, like I say, this is why E is doubling back on his words, because he knoweth that he had but a short time, as the scriptures tell you in Revelation, the 12th chapter. Okay, time is short for E. You talking about second and third quarter? You have people that are literally in chaos in the street with these riots and such, rebelling against the order. The mask thing, they're talking about masks are better. People ain't wearing these masks here in the mass cities and such. Philly, I barely see people with masks on. You only see pretty much seniors wearing the mask. The Moabites, these so-called Chinese, all right, wearing the mask. Okay, you'll see them walking with a mask. And they used to do this prior. They have weak immune systems, and they're just weak, faithless people anyway. Okay, and during this when even to be Darash of this whole thing, they already had the mask on. All right, and then like I said, he puts it on. Like, I was sitting in a wee truck. This Moabite already sensed my presence. It's just spirits holding the mask over his nose and such. And then when you sit there pacing back and forth down the street and such. Confusion. The Lord's going to destroy these Moabites. Anyway, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants, meaning destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, which is Esau, Edom, the accuser, okay, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have a short time. This length, a rock, a time, a ith. My ith is of time is short. Okay, it's short. So when this man, of course, says, "Hey, nah, he made a mistake," it's true. I certainly, of course, I don't trust thine enemy, but he knows he has a short time. A vaccine could be ready as soon. Vaccine is ready. It will, Yahweh Ratzazah, Yahweh willing, all right, be pushed out this November. All right, maybe even October, as they say, October surprise. Okay, a vaccine could be ready as soon as November, and I remember it's like November the 1st they're talking about, or December. Redfield said. So this is now Redfield saying this, but Trump was quoted saying about October and November. Yeah, of course, there was even I believe the CDC put out different orders for every state in the United States to draft plans out for the delivering of this vaccine. All right, adding limited first doses could go to those who are most vulnerable. They're gonna put us as the most vulnerable. I believe we are the face of COVID-19. No, Moab. Well, all right. So we'll go Chinese. It says, but in order to have enough of the of us immunized, vaccinated, to have immunity, I think it's going to take at least 6 to 9 months. He added. So, I mean, this is what this guy had said, and I mean, if he were to be true, it would be a terrifying 6 to 9 months. But we know the devil knoweth he has but a short time. So Trump, you know, I more would lean towards Trump words than this did, you know, and that's just the confusion that comes about, you know, with these E's. All right, so that's pretty much the lesson I wanted to bring out real quick. Call all like Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Shemel Kodash, double honors to the apostles, and that was a great millstone world. Peace and sanctification to the elect. Again, second address 2 second address 5 and 8 slot. It says there shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off sent out again. Shalom.